Since the brutal Whitechapel murders of 1888, the true identity of Jack the Ripper has remained one of history's greatest unsolved mysteries. Criminologists, historians, and amateur sleuths have spent more than a century attempting to match a face to the name, proposing suspects who range from impoverished locals to members of royalty and even a woman. Below are 7 of the most prominent figures who have been linked, fairly or not, to the infamous crimes. 1. Carl Feigenbaum. One theory, put forward by retired English detective Trevor Marriott, identifies Jack the Ripper as Carl Feigenbaum, a German sailor executed in New York in 1894 for killing a woman named Juliana Hoffman. Marriott argued that the docks near Whitechapel were frequented by sailors like Feigenbaum, who also had a history of using aliases and serving as a merchant seaman for the Norddeutsche Line. Archival records show ships from that company docked near Whitechapel during each of the 5 murders. Feigenbaum's own defense attorney even claimed his client had confessed to being a serial killer and could have been in London at the time. 2. Prince Albert Victor. Perhaps the most sensational suspect was Prince Albert Victor, grandson of Queen Victoria and second in line to the throne. In 1970, physician Thomas Stowell suggested that the prince had committed the murders during fits of insanity brought on by syphilis. Though widely publicized, the theory has been dismissed by historians, as records show Albert Victor was not in Whitechapel when the murders took place. 3. H. Holmes. Could America's first notorious serial killer also have been Jack the Ripper? H. Holmes, infamous for his Chicago murder castle filled with gas chambers and trapdoors, was executed in 1896, but some theorists argue he escaped and continued his crimes overseas. His great-great-grandson, Jeff Mudgett, claims Holmes' diaries link him to the Ripper murders. Though intriguing, evidence for this theory remains speculative. 4. Montague John Druitt. An Oxford-educated lawyer, Montague John Druitt was found dead in the Thames just weeks after the last Ripper murder. Investigators deemed it a suicide, though there was no direct proof of his guilt. His death coinciding with the end of the killings led Detective Melville McNaughton to list Druitt among his top 3 suspects in an 1894 report. 5. Walter Sickert. A German-born artist raised in England, Walter Sickert became known for paintings of prostitutes and unsettling scenes. Fascinated by the Ripper case, he once rented a room believed to have been used by the killer and later painted Jack the Ripper's bedroom. In 2002, novelist Patricia Cornwell reignited suspicion with her book Portrait of a Killer, arguing that DNA evidence tied Sickert to the infamous letters signed Jack the Ripper. Most experts, however, dismissed her claims, noting Sickert may not have even been in England during the murders. 6. Robert Maughan. Historian M.E.I. Troe suggested in 2009 that Robert Maughan, an attendant at the Whitechapel mortuary, was the true killer. Maughan grew up in poverty, worked with corpses daily, and seemed to fit modern criminal profiles of the Ripper. During the inquest into Marian Nichols' murder, he took the unusual step of undressing her body without instruction, behavior Troe interpreted as a sign he was admiring his own crime. 7. Jill the Ripper. Some have speculated that the killer was not a man at all. The idea of a female Ripper, or Jill the Ripper, was entertained even by Arthur Conan Doyle. One candidate was Mary Piercy, executed in 1890 for the knife murder of her lover's wife and child. In 2006, Australian scientist Ian Findlay analyzed DNA from saliva on surviving Ripper letters. His results hinted, though inconclusively, that the sender may have been female, giving new life to the Jill the Ripper theory.